Good morning, everybody. Uh, we have Kevin in the chat. Welcome, Kevin, from Florida. Thank you for being here. This is not a normal time for me to stream, so bear with me. I wanted to try to fit something in before I went to work this morning, so here we are. If you've not been around the channel before, my name is Jeremy, and I've been doing this for a bunch of years. So here's to coffee. All right. So this morning I wanted to talk briefly about Fog and Rescuezilla, and we can lump Clonezilla in there as well. So, but mainly Rescuezilla. So these are two tools that perform imaging, full drive imaging on a computer, on specifically an x86 or x64 computer. You're not going to get this to work on recent Macs at this point in time. So, big differences. You can toss Rescuezilla on a thumb drive and image to an external hard drive, image to a SMB or Samba share on the network, image to NFS share on the network, image over SSH. Fog, on the other hand, is server-based. It's more geared for imaging at scale. For instance, it gets a lot of use in the education sector. And the first actual live deployment of Fog that I ever saw in action was in an education environment. And then I went on to, when I was teaching IT courses, I went on to use it there as well to offer a project for the IT students that would assist the IT manager, imaging a bunch of, I believe they were HP Pro books at the time, which were problematic to some degree. So anyways, I've got a Fog server set up. I've got stuff we can do with Rescuezilla at the same time. And so between now and say 8:35, 8:40, I want to try to do an image capture with both systems. So I might be light on the talk this morning and heavy on the demos. Please feel free to ask questions as we go along. And if I have to get up for a moment, I will try to wait to do it until the imaging process is in full force, and then I can go refill my coffee. So in a nutshell, that's where we're starting. And crazy weather up here in Michigan. Yesterday it was like 70 degrees. Right now it's 32. So we'll see how the rest of the weekend looks by the time all is said and done. All right, so let me get something prepped here and switch over to displaying my screen. All right, so what you're seeing right now is the back end of Proxmox. We've got an Ubuntu 2504 virtual machine here, and we are going to start by imaging this with Rescuezilla. We're going to capture an image with Rescuezilla. So what we need to do is we need to come down here to the CD drive, and we need to switch this to be Rescuezilla. 2.6 is the most recent version. And come back to the console, and we will start this up. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. And I clicked on the wrong thing, so we'll try this again in a moment. Restart. Okay, we're going to select number 2, which is our virtual optical drive. Start Rescuezilla. Get a little coffee. Believe it or not, this is my first cup of coffee of the morning, so we will persevere and make this work. All right, so we're going to do backup. We're going to select the virtual hard disk, and on a physical machine, you would select what is obviously going to be your NVMe drive or your spinning hard drive. Both partitions, we're going to do back this up shared over the network. It's a Windows share. And the format for this, double backslash the IP or domain name of your server. And we're going to put it on version 3.11 of SMB protocol for the fastest possible imaging speed. Pay no attention to that error message. That was something I did. Has to do with the formatting of the of what I provided it. Okay, so we're going to add a new folder, and we're going to say Ubuntu 2504 demo. We're going to create the folder. We're going to say OK. And so we've got our full path set up here. And what this is telling you is that SMB path that we specified earlier, double backslash the IP address and then the folder, is being mapped to a local path on a Linux file system at mount backup Ubuntu 2504 demo. And then we can go here. We can say YouTube live demo. Feel free to delete. That way it's not sitting there taking up space. All right, so we say next, and here we can select the amount of compression. So more compression is going to take more time, but it's going to make smaller file sizes. Less compression is going to take less time, but it's going to take up more space. So usually I will set it at about a 2 just to, I've got enough space for a while. So there is a scenario where you'd want to set the compression to 0. And that's when you'd want to have access at the file level at a future point. We won't go into that in this video, but there is an option in Rescuezilla that allows you to recover files. And so, you know, that might be something once a year that you want to do, and then everything else you do as a compressed backup. All right, so we'll go ahead and say next. And this is just verifying what we've got here. And we'll say next again, and we'll let it do its thing. Okay, so while that's running, we will jump over here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start the process of getting things registered to be backed up in Fog. So I just want to see something. What do I have? That's a relatively small disk. That's going to be the largest of the bunch. Okay, DAV file here is a 32 gigabyte disk. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to options, and I'm actually going to switch this so I don't give myself more problems later. I'm going to put the hard disk down at the bottom, and we're going to put network up here at top for the moment, and we'll say okay. And then when we start this one, we are going to see Fog offer us the option to register the machine. Fog is database driven, so everything has to be registered into the database. It captures your MAC address and different pieces of information about your hardware. So we're going to do a full registration and inventory. This takes a minute. It's booting over the network, and there is a backup operation going on over the network, so there's going to be a little bit of traffic. And I'm trying to live stream at the same time. So if the picture gets a little fuzzy, that's why. So we're going to call this DAF file. And actually, we've got to go back over to our Fog machine, and we've got to do something here first. Those are not Fog. We need to come over here. So with Fog, you have to have an image to associate a new registered computer to. So we're going to create a new image, and we're going to call this DAF file. This is Linux. And we're going to take compression down to a 2 on this as well. And we'll say add. And now we can jump back over here, do question mark to get the list of images. And ID2 is the one we just created, so we'll do that. And everything else we're going to answer no or leave blank. Would you like to deploy image to this computer now? No. So once we do that, it's going to capture the rest of the information, and it's going to reboot. And once we have it start rebooting, we're going to turn it off. Okay, so let's check on our Rescuezilla, and that is done. So the Image Explorer option in Rescuezilla specifically needs the uncompressed image. So just for anybody referencing that. So we'll go ahead and close this out for the time being. And we want to jump back to Fog. Apparently I put that over here, so we need to move that there. All right. So now that we've got an image, we've got DAF file, we've got a host associated with it. So if we list hosts, we will see DAF file is here. And we've got a few options over here. We've got green is deploy, yellow is capture. We've got multicast, and we've got go to task list. So what we want to do is we want to do a capture task. Schedule with shutdown. We don't need wake on LAN. Schedule instant. And then we're going to say create capture tasking. So we hit task, tasking successful. So now if we come down here to tasks, it will show one task waiting for us. If we jump back to our Proxmox and start up the VM again, it's again going to attempt to boot from the network. And it should be an automatic process from this point forward. And good morning, Terrell. Thank you for being here. Yes, I'm beating okay, an error has been detected. I'm beating the fog horse to death. So what that's still showing that is being active. Let's come over here to the dashboard and I'm not sure why that gave me an error. So tasks still shows that as an active task. Let's try it one more time just for grins and see if we get any different result out of this. So generally, I don't see error messages like that. I will have to dig deeper into the error messages, and now it's going fine. So if at first you don't succeed, restart and try again. So okay. So allegedly that did the process that we requested of it. If we come back to images and list all, we can see now that the DAF file 2 image has a size of 941.57 megabytes. And yes, I did pronounce it that way purposely. MIB. It's not just Men in Black. It's megabytes. So that is, in a nutshell, is capturing an image with fog. Deploying an image with fog is a similar task. And so what we want to do here is we'll come over here and we will say new VM. We're going to say DAV file demo. OS, we're going to say don't use any media. System, we'll leave alone. Disks, we'll say, I don't know, we'll give this 40. We can resize it later. Because the original was 32, so that gives a little breathing room. 2 cores, 4 gigs of RAM, which is probably overkill. Bridge 0. Next. All right, so it's going to create the VM. We're going to come here to options. Still waiting for it to finish being created. And that's good now. And so what we're going to do is we are going to put the optical drive at the first boot order option. Actually, we're just going to do all those that way. We're going to save that. And then we're going to do the process basically in reverse. We're going to come to console. We're going to start it. We're going to boot from the network, which it should do automatically. We're going to register this machine. And this time we'll just use quick registration. And in this kind of case, you know, if you're doing a one-off machine, this might be the perfect option for you. So there's one caveat. It gives the machine a name based on its MAC address. So we'll have to change that in Fog. So if we come back to hosts, list all, and here we've got a host that is just the MAC address. So we're going to go in here and we're going to say Fog restore DAF file. And it's going to ask for an image, and we're going to use DAF file. And then we're going to say update, right? So from here, then we can go list all hosts. And as you see here in the hosts option, and that is erroneously calling it Windows, so we need to fix that. Because that is not at all Windows. I guess one of the side effects of doing an automatic registration. I don't typically use that feature, but I wanted people to know it's out there, right? So we can come into images. We've got DAF file listed here. Tasks should currently be there should be no active tasks. If we list all hosts, so we've got Fog restore DAF file. We can come here. Again, green is deploy. Test successfully. Click active task to view inline. So active tasks. We've come back over here to our DAF file demo. We will start up the VM. It should boot automatically. And start the process. It may take a minute, but it should start nonetheless. Tempting to check in. So tempting to deploy image using part clone. And here we go. So yeah, don't expect things to be that quick all the time. This was a small, a very small image to deploy. But if we turn off network boot and we start this up, it should load DAF file. And then 74,195. And we've got DAF file. For those who are not familiar, DAV file is an audio server built on Squeeze Box, I believe it was called, by Logitech. I think they've renamed it now since it's, been developed in the open source for a while. But anyway, it can do CD ripping. It can act as a media server. And one of the cool things that you can do with this is under networking, you can join it to a 0-tier network and basically have your own personal Spotify with no ads ever. So, yeah, as long as you leave the machine that it's running on turned on and your power doesn't go out, so get a UPS, it will just keep on humming along, and the limit is only the number of CDs that you rip to it and the disk space that you have to fill up. And of course, your network connection. So, but since this is not a DAV file video, we will just go ahead and shut that down. And yeah, if we come back to the dashboard, and that keeps going back to 2 minutes. Well, anyways, that is imaging with 2 different products, both open source, serving 2 different use cases in large part, right? So Rescuezilla is really more suited to one-off imaging processes, whereas Fog, being server-based and being a little bit having a little bit different feature set, allows things like multicast. So you can take one image and you can send it to multiple computers and image them all at the same time. That's where things like the shutdown after imaging option becomes very handy, because obviously you can't have your hands on 4 different laptops or however many you're imaging to work with them right after imaging. So having them all shut down and then being able to do bring them back up one at a time to do any other tasks that need to be handled on them is a benefit of Fog. But unless you're doing a bunch of identical machines, Fog may be overkill for you, quite honestly. In all honesty, for me, in this environment, in a home lab, Fog is complete overkill. But I try to keep up with the changes in Fog because for some reason I have become the go-to person on YouTube for information about Fog. I never intended that to be the case, but here I am. Here I am. So, are there any questions? From anybody? I know not a DAV file video, but can you give a quick link? Give a link to it. Sure. It's just davfile.com for anybody that's interested in that. I'll jump back over here for a minute. Audio file class music server and player OS targeted to dedicated headless PCs. So the idea being you've got your PC, you've got a USB digital to analog computer converter, digital to analog converter. You run that into your amplifier of whatever variety you've got, and to the amplifier you have speakers hooked up, right? Um, so yeah. And this is this is of interest to me because I recently found I found a board, and I've got to research. I think I've got a bookmark saved somewhere, but I found a board. It's a I'm not sure if it's ESP32 based or what have you, but it's basically a small amplifier unit that hooks up to standalone speakers, that makes them Wi-Fi capable. So I've got this idea that I could go get some thrift store speakers and screw around with a project like this over the summer potentially. But certainly cheaper than buying into Sonos and all that garbage that's going on there. You are very welcome. Do they have an app that will interface with it? I don't know if I've got a DAFile app. I don't think there's an app. That's the one place where DAFile sort of falls short. Take a quick peek in the Google Play Store. There does not appear to be an app. So I know this is off the stated topic of the video, so I apologize to any of those people that are sticking around and watching for Fog and Rescuezilla content, but hey, it's all right. We've got a few minutes to kill yet. So there is another option, Terrell. This one does have an app. This is called Volumio. And they were running a sale on this a year or two ago. And so I bought a lifetime license to this. The way some people buy the lifetime license for Plex, I bought the lifetime license for Volumio. And so basically, this does have an app. Volumio, I've got it set up on a Dell Optiplex 3020, a very old Optiplex, right? Now, mind you, this will run on a Raspberry Pi as well, so the specs needed are not that high. But I did pair it with a digital to analog converter, inexpensive one because this was a proof of concept project. But this does the multi-room playback. It's got all kinds of things that plays and rips CDs. And so yeah, it walks you through the process. And there is a free version. And then the paid version adds a few bells and whistles, right? I don't believe the lifetime is active anymore as far as them offering it. But if we go start free trial, it asks you to sign up. So if this is something you try out and you're interested in, I would wait until maybe Black Friday to see um, if there's an offer um, from them. I have not followed very closely development since I got this, but when I was using it, I was pretty impressed with it. And I've actually got it hooked into my surround receiver. So it's got my big 30 plus year old floor speakers, the speakers I bought after I graduated high school in 92. And so they're big Pioneer floor speakers with 15-inch woofers. Um, uh, and doggone it, they still sound pretty damn good. Um, if I were to ever replace them, I would be, looking at some high end speakers. But I don't feel like speakers today are built as well as they were in the 90s or 80s or even the 70s. And sure, they've got the fake wood veneer finish, but the they've been very uh, solid speakers for me. So that's Volumio. DAW file is completely free. Volumio is a little more proprietary. It does run on a Raspberry Pi. I suspect they're using a lot of their own front end code on different parts. Whether they built the whole system from the ground up, I'm not entirely sure, but they do offer hardware as well, and not cheap hardware. This is all Italian made stuff. So I believe this is the low end device at $900. So that's the Preciso. The Motivo is $2,000. The Primo is $1,000. The Revo is $1,200. The Revo Plus is $1,500 and unavailable for purchase in the United States. The Integro is $1,500, and the Lineo 5 is $500. So I guess this is technically this is a linear power supply, so that's not even necessarily what you would be interested in, but everything else is a DAC, and yeah, not cheap stuff. You can, but look, I'm 51. I am not. My ears are not what they were when I was 19. The chance of me spending multiple thousands of dollars on audiophile sound equipment at this point in my life is pretty small. Would I like to upgrade a few of the things that I've got? Sure. But given the consolidation in the audio and speaker market right now, I'm gonna hold out a few more years and then reevaluate if I still want to upgrade. All right. Any final questions before I wrap this up? I really intended this to be, between 30 and 45 minutes. We're at 41 minutes right now. So we'll go to the 45-minute marker, and then I will wrap this up, and I will finish getting ready and head out to work. Yay, Friday. But I've got to work Saturday. So, eh. On the bright side, I may have Monday off. Um, got to check the app. Um, um, oh, 9 a.m. to 5:45. Oh, yeah, that's making up for getting called on my day off. Um, so that's just adding the extra 30 minutes over 2 days to get me an extra hour. Um, yeah, they called me on my day off to try to troubleshoot a problem, and it wasn't something I could easily troubleshoot, or it wasn't something I could resolve over the phone, because none of my coworkers are very technical people. So I wasn't even going to try to walk them through plugging in Ethernet cables because undoubtedly somebody would find a way to mess it up. And then I would have had to have gone in on my day off, which I wasn't about to do. Um, so for those still humoring my madness this morning, um, if you could like the video, that would be very much appreciated. Um, I don't know if I will be live again tonight, or maybe it will be tomorrow. But I do want to do something over the weekend. I also want to try to get another pre-recorded long form video out, maybe by Sunday, and just try to kickstart the channel growth again for the month, because it's kind of sort of flatlined a little bit. Still gaining a couple subscribers a day, but it's yeah. Like I mentioned in a community post, publish or perish. That's where you're at. Whether you're a college professor or making YouTube content, publish or perish. Um, that's the treadmill. That's the hamster wheel that I live on. Publish or perish. So, yeah. This was fun. This was I guess the result of getting a good night's sleep last night and feeling ready to um, kick butt and take names. So we'll see how my day goes today and tomorrow. It's probably a little more likely that tomorrow will be the live stream, but who knows? Who knows? I may get home tonight and make a second pot of coffee and you know feel like doing this. So on that note, it's just over 45 minutes. Thank you all for watching, and have a great Friday.